bringing to you a tiny, quick little tidbit to explain how Trump won the election despite all the numerous polls and exit polls and Hillary Clinton media propaganda. The fact of the matter is, most of the matters where you had the contestants speaking to their peoples, a lot of those under the Hillary Clinton ones, if you go back and look at those carefully, you'll see guys disappearing in the middle of space because they were sometimes paid audiences and green screens. And all of Trump's announcements and benefits and rallies were in giant arenas with huge amounts of population. So if you're going to try to go on false promises and make self-fulfilling prophecy by getting all the media to say, she's already won, so all you Donald people stay home, well, a lot of times that works, okay? You get the other people feeling defeated and like their vote doesn't count, and they stay at home. And thank God this didn't happen this time, because I'm all for having the world getting along together and becoming back to being friends like we were 2 months ago before Hillary announced she was running. And all of a sudden there was this imminent, horrible Cold War going on with Russia, completely non-existent. And thank God that that man is very gracious and patient and waited to see what would happen till after our elections. So thank you, Mr. Putin, and all of the Russian people for understanding that we're still kind of sweltering under the effects of Clinton propaganda machines. And maybe we can get those laws that were repealed about big banks and not having to tell both sides of the story. We could go back to the early 1980 and get those back and make sure that all the sides of the story are covered, and that one media person can't buy that story. That would be a huge start in the right direction, because Americans were completely unprepared. You get chemtrail spraying and crap in the water and GMA foods and fish that are injected with steroids and things to fix them and make them sterile. And you don't think that's having an effect on you and on your brain? Oh, God forbid we get into fluoride and vaccines. So, the Trump surprise is no surprise. Trump's win is not an upset at all. Hillary Clinton's bot media lied, hoping to bring about a self-fulfilling prophecy. She even toyed with the ideas about making holographic releases because of the new Alien movie that came out November 11, and projecting these 3D holographic images onto the top of the firmament of our planet so that people think, why do all the stars only go around the North Star? Why does the sun's rays seem to expand instead of just coming at us straight from this megalith planet, and all these other lies that we've been fed with thanks to our helpful little bones people? So, her idea was to release holographic aliens on the ceiling of the firmament in key Donald cities in order to discourage Donald voter turnouts in those cities. It was always 80-20. And all of her voter superdelegates turned in the last half an hour to ensure that they all turned at the same time and avert the famous HC vengeance. It was a turn that was planned ahead of time. And doesn't anyone find it amazingly interesting that right as soon as she announced her defeat speech, that her daughter starts tweeting about her mom having dementia? All of a sudden, she can't remember anything again. In order to avert and save her a ploy from any special investigation forming by claiming, well, see, look back here, my daughter said I can't remember anything. But if she had won the presidency, oh, she'd have remembered every single last one of those people who voted, tweeted, or said anything against her on a YouTube or social media. Except that she blasphemed in her giving up speech that she is bitter because, and this is her and her co-running mate's speeches, she worked her whole life to get here, and then the Donald runs in at the last moment and gets paid the very same. So why does a person who dedicated her master's thesis to the head of the Church of Satan suddenly claim religion when she loses. Maybe she should have gone back and unfixed the voting machines after she stole the nomination from Burn 'em Up Bernie, who, by the way, switched to the dark side 2 days before the delegates ever even voted. Now, he promised, you give me your last $20 as you're living on your parents' living room couch, and I will go the distance, and we will see which way the delegates vote. And he caved 2 days before the election to save Hillary that embarrassment. You know, I would congratulate him on that effort to spare her that trauma. But when you lied and stolen and what happened to the investigation on the DNC aide who we think leaked the emails from the DNC and is found shot in the back from the long distance away, and we're supposed to think that's a burglary. Now, I'm sorry, that just reeks of murder, and why didn't anybody investigate it? So we have Bernie that promised he would go to the last vote, taking everyone's dollar, and instead he bought himself a $172,000 new sports car and a $650,000 new cabin on the lake. Truly, better we found out about him now instead of after the election, how fast money truly corrupts. But then, mammon is of the devil. Thank you so much. Here we are, Ellie White, independent news broadcaster, speaking to you from the West Coast White House. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Dios te bendiga. Thank you so much.